Good evening. I'd like to begin our meeting with pledge to flag, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start, I just want everybody to know we are being broadcast live tonight. So this meeting is going right across the Carroll Media Center's website at this time and on cable channel 23. So you are being live. So anyone that has any comments tonight, we would like you to come to the microphone, state your name, your address, so that everybody knows who you are and smile nice and bright. Okay, we'll open our meeting with approval of the minutes and operating statement.
I make a motion that we approve the operating statement, the March 25th, 2013 public hearing and council meeting minutes, the April 8th, 2013 work session minutes, and Quantum's financial statement for February 2013.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
No, same way. Motion's carried. Okay, under my report, it's a little short this month. Just to let everybody know that the new Dollar General store opened up last Sunday, April the 14th. It's a really nice store inside. Apparently, we do not have a regular grocery store that we wanted, but I think this is a lot better than nothing. It's been a lot of business in and out of there. The general manager told me that they are planning to have a official open house, and I'm not exactly sure when that is. I was told last week it would probably be toward the end of this week or the next couple of weeks. So whenever they're ready for that, the Union Bridge Business Association is going to assist them with a grand opening there. So whenever they do that, we'll try to get a little publicity on that. This Saturday? Okay. They were supposed to let me know the Business Association wants to participate in that. I was also told starting May the 1st of May you can go online. The candidates' profiles for the election this year will be on computer, will be televised, and it'll be online. You can go to your www.carrollmediacenter.org, and you can scroll down through the menu, and it'll tell you what times it's going to be on TV. So if anybody wants to watch it on the computer or you want to watch it on channel 23, it'll come up at different times and tell you when the candidates' profiles are going to be. We have the operation and maintenance water and sewer water bid, wastewater treatment bid that we have to go over tonight. It was advertised in Carroll County Times, RFP for water and wastewater operation and maintenance independent contractor was advertised for bid on March the 13th, 2013, and March the 16th, 2013 in the Carroll County Times. Bids were submitted for a 3-year period with option to renew for the second and third year bids. The town received one bid from Environmental Operations, our current contractor, in the amount of, for the first year, $48,960. $960 increase from last year, with option to renew for FY 14-15. The second year be the same price at no increase, and the third year, 15-16, $49,920, which is a $960 increase from the previous the new bid. So we need a motion to approve environmental operations for this bid for FY 13-14.
I make a motion that we approve environmental operations bid for O&M independent operator for the town's water and wastewater treatment facilities for the fiscal year 13-14 in the amount of $48,960 with the option to renew for the second and third year at the proposed prices.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
I just have one observation. This may be clear from your workshop, but the term option, it's a mutual option. it is renewable at the option of the town or the contractor, isn't
Right.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, in the sense that it's not the town's option only, and just to make that clear, and maybe that was clear, but
Okay.
we had talked about that when the bidding went out.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, motion and a second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
Noes, motion's carried. And I know you're glad for that, Amy, because it makes your job a lot easier.
Yes, it does. It is wonderful.
Okay, the other thing that I want to bring up, for the month of May, because of the holiday at the end of the month, and then also for June, because of Ocean City Convention, May's workshop will be May the 6th, and the regular council meeting will be moved up to May the 20th because of Memorial Day weekend. And June, the work session will be June the 3rd, and the council meeting will be June the 17th. So that's about all that I have for right now. And now we'll go to John's report.
Okay, update on Cherry Branch. I talked with Chris Hine at the county this morning, who's our coordinator, and he tells me that they expect the mulch to be delivered and the mowing and augering to start on Monday, May 6th. Probably that will happen over the course of the Monday and Tuesday of that week. And they will also be moving on, and I assume it's the same time or maybe before, 2 portable toilets. So you'll see that out somewhere in the field. And on Wednesday, May 8th, weather permitting, the outdoor school people will be on site to commence the planting of the trees. So that activity's coming up soon. The only thing I need to get council action for is that last month I brought to you the project agreement that it was my understanding that that had been fully reviewed and approved by the county. And when we got into some of the insurance provisions, I got additional comment from the county, which I think is satisfactory, but it's a little bit different than what was in the approved version. And what the county wants to be clear is that it is bringing on contractors to do certain work, and it will and has provided certificates of insurance for the contractor and the Board of Education, which runs the outdoor school. But it wanted to, the way it had been written originally was that the county would be responsible for anyone or any entity that entered onto the property as part of the project. They point out that there may be volunteers that do things on an interim basis. We don't know who they are, but the county does not want to take responsibility for every person that enters onto the property. And also, our mowing contractor will be doing mowing, and the town gets a certificate of insurance for the mowing contractor, and they want to be clear that by distinguishing the county contractors from town activities and town contractors, that would clarify their responsibilities. The limits of insurance are the same, and again, we've got the certificates from the Board of Education, which is basically self-insured in a pool, and the contractor who'll be starting the week of May 6th.
Okay.
So if I could just have an acknowledgement that the mayor is authorized to sign with that change, we'll re-sign it.
Okay, is that okay with the council?
Sure.
Okay. And the only other thing I'll mention is that the Planning Commission met last week, and on our agenda was to talk about initiating the comprehensive plan review, which under current law was due to be enacted in the year 2014. However, we discovered in the process of sort of getting ready to discuss that there was a House bill that we believe was enacted, it's an enrolled bill at this point, that increased the time that you have to update your comprehensive plan from 6 years to 10 years. And there are some minor variations to that, and we're going to figure that out, but at this point, I think in all probability, the Planning Commission will take a step back and let this time ride out a little bit since you get 4 additional years. And when I say there are some exceptions to it, there appears to be a provision where the State Department of Planning can take a look at each municipality and each county and redefine what your cycle will be to get you on what ultimately, I guess, will be a 10-year cycle. But the first segment of that may not be the full 10 years. But at this point, I don't think we're anywhere near knowing how the Department of Planning is going to interpret that section. So for the time being, I think the Planning Commission is going to go slowly, which also makes sense because we're in this process of having submitted information and new tier mapping and having gotten comments back from the state on some of that. So it also gives a little more breathing room to react to that. That's certainly going to happen within the next, probably within this year sometime. Some of that material was submitted back in December, and we still haven't heard back yet. So that's just sort of for your information. You'll recall that the comprehensive plan is a pretty involved study by the Planning Commission that ultimately, once approved and recommended by the Planning Commission, comes to the mayor and council for a final acceptance. And so that looks like it won't be happening within the next year or two. And we'll just sort of stay tuned as to how that new bill plays out. And that's all I have.
Okay, speaking of new bills, I think I'm correct saying that people will see, starting July, an increase with this new, I don't know, the new fee that the state is going to charge everyone for the runoff off of their roofs and impervious grounds, you know, like blacktop and the square footage of their roofs and their properties.
Well, at this point, the county has not adopted
Right.
the fee.
Can give you some input on that from the meeting that they had on the 17th. They haven't totally worked up everything on how they're going to do the fee, except that the way it stands right now with the information that they've gotten together with the committee is that it's going to be based on the actual impervious area of your lot, not a percentage that the impervious area is. So in other words, if you have a 10-acre lot and 1 acre of it is impervious, you're going to be billed for that 1 acre. If they did it the other way, it would be you'd only get billed for 10% of the 10 acres. So that's the way it stands right now, but there will be options built into it to get credits if you're doing things to mitigate the stormwater runoff, if you're using like rain barrels for your house, or you've put something else in that helps to mitigate that stormwater runoff.
Okay.
But they have another meeting next month yet before they present it to the commissioners, and then the commissioners will decide what they're going to do. Actually, they have 2 more meetings before then.
But that's still supposed to take effect first part of the fiscal year, right? I mean, we're talking like July. That's the way the original part.
They
was
have to
gonna
have
be.
a rate program in effect by July.
And if not, then the county's going to pick it up until they come up with something.
No, the county
Right.
has to have one in effect
Right.
by July. Now, I don't know when they're going to start charging for it.
I heard the county may pick up the tab until they figure out how they're going to do it, which,
They already have this built into their budget. They already have a fund for this. They already take part of our taxes for this.
right.
So it's not like we're one of those counties that doesn't do anything about it. They already have all this built in, but because the law states that they have to have this rate fee, they have to come up with it. There was a thing down in the state to try to give an exemption to those counties who already had this in their budget, and they were already taking care of it, but that didn't make it through. It made it through the House, and when it went to the Senate, they added a whole bunch of stuff to it, and when they sent it back to the House, they just said, no, that's not what it was for. So that one didn't pass.
Okay. All right. Okay, you say that's it, John?
That's all I have, yes.
Okay, Jarrett?
for you today, but I do have a few reminders, a few things to go over. One was just to, I'm sure you know by now, but since I was not here last month, we were awarded the CDBG grant for Phase 2 of West Broadway for the $138,000. So what they did with that was allowed us to do it as a change order, so we don't have to go out to rebid. CDBG allowed us to do that. So once we finish up and do the final inspection on this first phase, we can move on to the second one through change orders. So it makes it a little smoother for us.
What's involved in the second one?
Same type of work, the water and sewer lines, handicap ramps, fire hydrant. I think there's just one on that section of the road. Also, as a reminder, the new round of CDBG funding applications are due May 31st. So I know Perry has talked to you guys about some possible options to go after for the CDBG this year. So I'll let you guys discuss that and let me know what you think. I can either write something up for you at your work session meeting, or I can come to it however you feel comfortable with me doing, depending on what you guys decide tonight. And somebody can just let me know, and I'll do it any way you guys want. But I do feel like what we did go over and what you guys will discuss later is a very good option as far as what they will be funding for this next year, next round of funding. So it's, I would definitely keep it in top priority for it.
Okay.
But if you do have any questions on that, especially after you do discuss it, please give me a call. I can answer any questions that you have.
Okay.
Okay. But that's it for me, unless somebody has some questions.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, we're down to public comments and concerns. All right, front and forward.
First of all, my name's Dwight Graham. I live at 200 East Oak Street, apartment number 1. Okay, I've already talked to Councilman Wilson about making Oak Street one way. Of course, I've already heard a lot of slack about that from Councilman Wentz. I'd like to see it go one way in the interest of safety. There have been several vehicles up there making U-turns at Farquhar and Elmer. There's also been about 3 or 4 cars just people doing U-turns right there. Everyone's well aware Farquhar does not have a stop sign right at that intersection. Elmer Street has it both ways. I mean, it's just the interest of safety.
Okay.
And I do know the Councilwoman Cutsail has already said, or had talked to a few school bus drivers. They would prefer to come in on Elmer because they can't make the turn off of Elmer out on Route 75 or Main Street. One way or the other, it's just to make a safety concern. I've seen like about 3 or 4 accidents almost happen there because coming down Farquhar Street, they go to make the left to go out Elmer Street, there's a car right there at the stop sign. Cars have almost slid on the sidewalk and into that house there a couple times. So that's the first thing I'd like to bring up. The second thing is more or less your ordinance on abandoned vehicles. Can you explain that ordinance to me?
Okay. We try to go around a couple times a year to get all the abandoned vehicles in town that are untagged. And unfortunately, we don't go out every week and get them. We usually do it on average about twice a year, and a lot of times there's usually anywhere from 10 to 30 cars that we get. People get their cars and they put them in their yards. They do have an opportunity to come down. If they're working on their car, they can get a permit to put in the window to say that they're working on the car. It allows them more time to work on their car. Some people choose to put a roof over their vehicles. Putting a tarp over it does not justify just putting a tarp over the vehicle. Doesn't justify as containing your vehicle. And it's a constant battle because people have a tendency to just park their cars, and like I say, we've got one full-time person that works here, and she's busy in the office, and she doesn't have the time to go around and just look for abandoned cars all the time. But, you know,
That's fine, that's fine.
we would appreciate if someone sees something, you know, call the office and say, hey, we got abandoned cars been sitting here for unlimited amount of time, so we can, you know, we can make note of it and check it.
The
And
part about the abandoned part is like, all right, someone brings like a trailer or something, and leaves it still on the road without it being moved for 6-7 months. Is that considered an abandoned
no,
vehicle?
if it's tagged as, the way it's stated right now, that is not considered abandoned. A vehicle that is even tagged, as long as it's operable, is not considered abandoned according to the ordinance. As long as it's operable.
Okay, now you brought the point up, tag. I want to bring up another point, railroad cars. Sitting on tracks in the town limits for over 3 years.
It's their tracks. We cannot move railroad cars. I know where you're sitting about between those two houses down there. Those tracks belongs to the railroad, and they have that right of way there.
Well, if I have a vehicle, or just for example, if I have a vehicle on private property, just because it sits there, this happened to me back several years ago. It sat there for good, only 3 weeks, tag and everything. I was still required to come down here and pick up one of those papers, which is not right. Insurance was on it, legal tags, but yet I was still forced to do it. But if I was to move that vehicle out of that spot, move it over one more spot, I move the vehicle.
We've got people that do that. We've got that situation down here on Broadway. They do it continuously.
Okay, my third thing, I talked about this, I think it's back either November or December. I already know it's an abandoned storm drain out in front of 200 Oak Street. It's an ugly sight. Every time it rains, it fills up, garbage, everything just lays in that storm drain. I've made a recommendation to either seal the storm drain up with asphalt or find a way to reopen it back up, tie it into the rest. What can we do about that?
No, I think that's the one that's completely shut off, isn't it?
It's the one that runs under, that originally ran under Edgar Street over to the other side of the road and went out into a ditch. It is closed up, nothing goes anywhere when it hits there.
It's completely closed off when that street was done, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was abandoned.
Well, they should have taken the grate up and filled it in then. It does get kind of nasty.
Somebody can't fall into,
No one can fall in it because the grate's over top of it. What I'm recommending is, like say, due to all the heavy rain stuff, all the lot of garbage stuff runs down Over Street, accumulates around that storm drain. Whatever that storm drain can't hold, of course, the dirt's almost all the way at the top of the grate anyway. Why just can't you take the grate out, fill more dirt in, and do a quick patch on it?
No, because with it getting warmer, it's going to start to draw
And
mosquitoes.
I do know there's another one somewhere up on Broadway also. And I also brought up that the one new storm drain that was put in when they redid that street, real heavy rains, that storm drain itself cannot hold the water. I've actually seen water shoot out of there at least 6 inches high.
oh, I have to.
I mean, that might be something you all
You
might
got,
want to look into.
I mean, the ones right on Main Street, Friday evening, the way it rained Friday evening, the water going down Main Street, and then also here on Penrose, the water ran clear over top the curb down the street because it would not handle the rain Friday evening the way it rained on those heavy rains.
Okay. Like I said, I think I'd probably get another thing maybe to look at, maybe find out why that those storm drains can't actually hold constant flow of water.
I guess I would say now, the storm drain is probably about 12 inches. And you got, gosh, what, 1,000 foot above that, blacktop roads, and all that water hits it and comes down, and it can't take it. Simple as that.
No, like I said, it might be an idea maybe if you all can find a way maybe to expand that out a little bit to where it can actually hold more, or
Yeah, well,
it would prevent probably a good bit more flooding of what goes on down there.
yeah. But I'll come down and take a look at that other, maybe we can close it off and put cold patch over it.
Okay. Okay, that's about it. I took your information about emailing the governor a little while back, in regards like to storm drain and stuff like that. They just give me a run around just like they gave you. So I think the best bet is maybe go down and talk to the governor and state our case.
That's happened, and, you know, unfortunately, we're not at the mercy of the governor. We're at the wrong end of the state.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comments or concerns? I know we have a committee, I'll have you like more of a committee report, but that's fine.
Heather McKenzie with the West Carroll Rec Council. There's a lot of activities going on, so I'll try and make it fast. This Saturday, we have cheer and football registrations going on at the New Windsor Community Room between 10 and 12. We have mail-in registrations for field hockey occurring for the next 3 months. More information can be found on our website at gowcrc.com. Look for information for soccer registrations coming up in May for the youth. And we also have registrations occurring for youth rugby, summer league. We have 3 registrations in the month of May, and also that's posted on the website. We have all the registrations up. We had West Carroll Wings, which is a track and field program, debut at its first meet this past weekend. They did a fantastic job. They came away with, I think, 8 first place medals, so we're really excited that they're having success with the very first year.
Great.
The last thing I want to talk about is I have flyers with me. I left them on the table over there for our Community Outreach Day, which is Saturday, July 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're providing free activities such as a fun zone, a football bounce, dunk tank, and we'll have food there as well. We're inviting the community, and I'm also asking if the council would be able to provide any assistance, donation, financial support to help us as well. Thank you.
On that, you may call Sherry Thompson with the Union Bridge Business Association. Get them involved in that. I'm pretty sure that they would like to, you know, help out as much as they can with that program because they're very community oriented. And that's July the 27th?
July 27th.
Okay.
Yes, and it'll be at the New Windsor Carnival Grounds.
Okay. Now, I've heard some talk there about some girls being in a cheerleading competition. Did we have any girls from the West Carroll group that participated in that?
There are 2 things I forgot. Yes, our U12 group represented West Carroll at the national championships. I think that was the Ocean City, and they won first place. It was the Reach the Beach. So
No.
we're excited about that. The other thing I forgot to mention, the graffiti on the baseball dugouts. We are working on finding paint that can make it more difficult, but do that again, but to cover the existing work. So we've been working on it.
How many girls participated in the cheerleading competition down there? Just roughly.
I think we had a squad of about 13, 14.
And they were all local people?
All local.
That is great.
Yes. We have pictures on the Facebook page as well. We'll take a look at that.
All right, thank you. Okay, so council can think about what we might want to do to help, and we'll discuss that at our work session. Okay. Any other public concerns? If not, we'll go to committee reports. Ellen?
Well, we already talked about the stormwater management fee. At the EAC meeting, they also talked about legislation that they had been concerned about that I brought up the last time. Only one of those passed, and that was HB 1440, which is the one concerning recycling and composting facilities. It doesn't affect the town. It might affect the county. I'm not sure right now. And then we broke into the smaller groups, and I went to the one that is working on the solar code project, And basically, we're at the point now where we're starting to come up with definitions for what a solar farm is and things like that. We had a presentation by Biff Energy and Total Construction Services, who are putting in the solar farm right on the edge of Carroll County, down at Nixon Farm. Phase 1 has already started. There's going to be 5 phases till it's totally done. We had the reading of the essays for the If I Were Mayor contest last month, and I am very happy to say that Elmer Wolf actually had entries this time, and I'm hoping to bring them back with me after the award ceremony on May the 14th, I believe it is.
How many did we have?
I think it was like 20 couple.
Well, that's great.
Overall, the essay contest, we had over 2,600 this year, which is an increase of 21%. So, more every year. And if you ever get a chance to go down and read them, it's really a lot of fun to read those essays. The other thing is our Banner City application. They already have the thing for Maryland Municipal Month. So if we have the form filled out and signed off on for the rest of the stuff, we need to get that in soon.
Okay.
And I'm sure we've made everything else we had to do. But I can get with you later on that.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else at this moment.
The only thing I'd like to see on the, and thank you ladies for helping with that, is that when we go to talk to the 4th graders, that we give them more time to do their essays. I think last year, they finally got them in the week before the deadline. This year, they got them in like 2.5 weeks before the deadline. I think we have to stress to the teachers out there, we notify them at the end of December, 1st of January, that, this is a project that they can have 3 months to do it rather than 2 or 3 weeks.
The other thing is, and we talked about this the day we read the essays, and they're going to bring it back up when we have our meeting before the awards ceremony, but it's been highly recommended that we actually put some of these winning essays on the website so that they can go out and see them, because I think that they need a little bit more direction as to what this essay is supposed to be about when they're given the directions than what they're getting, because one of the criteria for the judging is, do they understand their municipal government? And I'll say a lot of the essays really don't bring that into what they're writing at all. There's a lot of them that really don't do that kind of thing.
Okay.
So that hopefully will be on there before they send out the essay contest next year.
Okay.
Because I think it would help a lot of these teachers and kids also, if they could see what was in that winning essay compared to what they put in theirs. And it's not necessarily the topics that they're choosing as the things that they think should be changed or should be made better for the future. It's in the rest of the content that they're not putting in their essays.
I think one thing interesting that these children in the school think that the mayors and council people are very rich people. We get paid a lot of money, and
Oh, yes.
my grandson was in the class, and I said, well, when you figure it out, you get about 24 cents an hour. And my grandson says, hey, Pop, if you get him to give you a penny raise, you can get one of them little things out of the bubble gum machine for a quarter. So they really don't have a clue, but it's very interesting when you talk to these kids. But
It's interesting to read the essays too, because you come across and you'll see this bunch of schools in this area, and they're all kind of target the same issues. And then you'll come to another area and they've got their issues that they target. And I don't think it's that the teacher's telling them that that's what's wrong. I think these are the things that they're seeing in those areas that need to be taken care of. So it's really interesting to read them.
yeah, it is. Okay.
Other than that, I don't believe I have anything.
All right. Laura?
I have a few things. Excuse me. I spoke with Mrs. Parkinson last week about painting her shed. And she okayed it. She would be thrilled for it to be repainted. I have not yet seen the boys. I'm going to ask to help. And if I can't get them to help, I'm just going to paint it with my boys. So it will get done. And she was very excited at the prospect of having it painted. She said that she's, it's offending to her, and that she just doesn't have the time to take care of it.
And you may ask, if you can't get the locals, you may ask, I'll give you a contact number for Silver Oaks, and they'll be glad to send some guys down to help.
I know, I was kind of worried about taking my own boys down with some of the language that's on there. I really didn't want them to see it. So that might be a better option, Silver Oak, thank you. I reported a light that is on 24 hours a day on White Street. I don't know if anybody noticed today, but I'm an assistant coach for Girls in the Run, and for our service project today, we picked up trash along Main Street. So we had, I think, 15 youth and 4 coaches, I think, picking up trash. And then, do you want to talk about the juniors from Saturday?
Oh, you go ahead.
I don't know all the details. You're probably better at it than me.
Well, I don't know all the details either, other than the junior fire, after you get done.
Oh, okay.
The other
I'm finished.
Yeah, okay. Edgar?
The fence has been repaired up the little ball diamond up the center. And we're going to be working on different projects up there to the building. So we'll see what's going to happen after that.
Okay. All right. Donald?
All right, I contacted one of the representatives of Ormals and got the okay for us to put a sign up down the curve where the Bowman's Barn is. So Perry and I are working on the wording for the sign, which will say we're trying to get the trucks to use 75 and Shepherd's Mill Road instead of coming through town. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but we're still going to go through with putting the sign up. And we can keep the sign up until they start developing the ground. So I'm not sure when that will be. And the patching is done on West Broadway. So that job is complete as it stands right now till we go till we do it permanently. And we did purchase the 4 benches for the park down there. They're 4-foot benches, got the backs on them. They're real nice benches. And you're right, Bill. I've been talking about it for years, but I got him. So we got Jimmy and I walked out and we located the places where we'll put them. He's in the process of putting them together now. And we also had our coal patch delivered. So Selby and Jimmy will be working on fixing some potholes.
Okay.
Just for you, Ellen.
Why, thank you, Donald.
Okay, Amy?
Since our last meeting, I've received one phone call from someone who had a water issue on Ligner Street, and it was on their side, but I don't get the chance to say this very often. He was very, very congenial, very nice, very good to work with. Stayed home from work to meet with Mike, and it all worked out for the best, but I don't say that often. It was very nice. Somebody wasn't yelling at me. It was very, very nice. I'm very excited that we're going to be able to work with Jeff Glass from Environmental Operations again. He is an extraordinary person that helps his town out a lot. And I believe John covered everything from planning and zoning, so I don't have to refresh on that at all. No, that's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And they will meet again on May 16th.
Okay.
And that's it.
Well, actually, just to supplement that, Bobby Moser brought the 2012 planning report.
Yes.
And that's something that she asked the
get to
planning
read it.
commission to look at. It's a county-wide report, and it doesn't have a Union Bridge section where you can go to 1 or 2 pages and look at the Union Bridge facts. They're interspersed in various tables and things like that. And I believe that Ned Cuman provided the county staff with a lot of information to fill in the blanks for Union Bridge. But the Planning Commission at the May meeting will evaluate, comment on that, and then give its approval or disapproval back to the county to let the plan go. At some point, the plan gets delivered to the State Department of Planning.
While you're speaking of that, Amy, I should have done this like a month ago, but I had a person that got a parking ticket from Beverly, and they said that they talked to her on the street, said she was very, very nice. And when they came down to the office to pay their ticket, they said that Dawn was very, very nice when they came in the office. Said that he'd almost get another ticket just to come down and talk to her. So that's unusual, you know, people get a ticket and they have to pay a fine, and they come back and they say about how nice the personnel was, so that's a plus.
Yes.
So we do catch the devil sometimes, but sometimes everything, I said, that must have been a very good day. But no, really, Dawn takes care of our customers very well when they come in here. Okay, Election Day is May the 14th. It's on a Tuesday. The office will be open here from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll be voting on 3 council people. Right now, we only have 3 people on the ballot. The 3 incumbents, because there's always, you know, you can always have a write-in, so we still encourage everyone to come out and vote. Speak your mind, that's what voting's about. That's one privilege that they cannot take away from you, so the office will be open. I think there's been some flyers around town telling you how you can vote. You can either be registered in the town, or you're also registered through the state of Maryland to register to vote. So we'd like to see people come out. And speaking of, Saturday was Junior Day for the fire companies. Union Bridge Junior Fire Company went to, they had training, had drills all day at the training center in Westminster. And the juniors from the Union Bridge Fire Company overall, I think, took first place in mostly every event that they had. So that was kind of encouraging. You know, we've talked about our youth in town, but when they come out and really put their minds to it, they can really do good things. So I think we have to perk them up a little bit when they do something good and let them know that we're out there looking at them or supporting them, and hopefully a lot of good things will happen this summer with all of our youth around town.
Dougie Bosch doing a good job then.
Yes, he has some seniors helping him. They had some relays and things going on that day. So it was a really, really good day for Union Bridge. And I think one day this week, aren't they going up to the high school for some rescue training? They have some kind of a event at Francis Scott Key High School.
Now it's every 15 minutes. They change people every 15 minutes.
There will be demonstrations with the squad and the fire trucks. So that's another event that the town takes, the fire company takes a real interest in. In case, I think you probably had a couple people call about some cloudy water here and there, but part of their training was be able to hook up fast and flow water at a certain amount and things like that. So, you know, these guys with this training are going to be your future firefighters, and so when you see them over there a lot, they're doing a lot of good stuff. Right now, we've got a good many young guys that are coming up from the juniors to the seniors that are 16 years old. We're one of the companies that let them come if they have their training. They can move up to the senior company at 16 if they've had their training. So, and Union Bridge Fire Company is the oldest. They were the first company in Carroll County to have a junior fire company. So we try to keep that going. We look at the guys that you have there now that are your line officers were all junior firemen at some time. So pretty proud of them. And so, is there anything else for us this evening? Hearing none, we're in line for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
No? Motion's carried. Thank you very much for coming out tonight.